Hey coin collectors, welcome to DC Coin Roll International Coin Channel. And today it's the Susan B. Anthony dollars from 1981. We have four of them here, the four different dollars that were made. Way up here at the top we have the Philadelphia Mint dollar, and you can see the P there. We have the Denver Mint dollar, and there's the D. We have the circulating San Francisco Mint dollar, and there's the S there. And then we have the proof San Francisco Mint dollar. So these are the four different ways that this came out in 1981. These San Francisco Mint proofs also came out in a couple different types, and we'll talk about that as we go along. So let's start with that Philadelphia right there. 1981 was the third year that they made the Susan B. Anthony dollars. They first came out with them in 1979, and they made $750 million. In 1980, because a lot of the 1979s hadn't even been distributed by the banks, they only made about $100 million. And then by 1981, the third year, they were down to $13 million total, including the proof sets. And in fact, the proof sets had a higher mintage than the regular set. The Philadelphia Mint in 1981, they only made 3 million of these, which is essentially an uncirculated or proof set number. They made 21 of these that they found so far at a Mint State 67, and they are worth about $1,500. Notice that Susan B. Anthony is facing to the right, says Liberty above her head. We have 7 stars on this side, 6 stars on this side, and God We Trust right in front of her. And then way down here we have an FG for Frank Gasparo, the engraver of the coin. And at the very bottom we see a 1981. Notice that there are these lines in the border, and there's actually 11 of them. And those 11 lines are to signify the back of the coin, because there's 11 lines around the back of this coin too, and that's for the Apollo 11 mission. It says United States of America around the top, E pluribus unum above the eagle. You see above the eagle's head, there's the earth. Down below the eagle, it's holding an olive branch, and it's getting ready to land on the moon. This is to commemorate the Apollo 11 mission. Now, many of you had seen that coin before on the prior dollar coin, and that's the Eisenhower coin. So they kept over the reverse of the coin. They made it a little smaller, and they added these lines for the 11. And that, of course, that I showed you was a 1974 Eisenhower. They made the Eisenhower coins from 1971 until 1978. And then in 1979, they came out with the Susan B's. These coins are copper nickel clad copper. One of the reasons that people say that they didn't get circulated a lot is because they're very similar in size to the quarter, and they kind of look the same from the side. You can see that they're a little bit bigger, and they certainly weigh more, but people got them confused, and banks didn't distribute them, so that's why they discontinued making them. They discontinued them in 1981, so in 1999 they came out with one more year of the Susan B's, and then they moved on to the Sacagaweas. Even though 1981 was the last year for quite a while, 18 years later they came out with the coin again. At the Denver Mint, they made 3.25 million. And they found one of these so far with the D Mint mark, which you can see right here. There was a Mint State 68, and that went for $2,900. These are very rare in the sense you'll almost never get one in your change or see one because they made so few of them. Whenever somebody sees one, they collect it and they take it out of circulation. The last mint that they made these at was the San Francisco Mint. And you can see the S over here for San Francisco. In 1981, the San Francisco Mint made generally circulating coins. This one right here is not a proof coin from San Francisco. This is a general circulating coin. They made 3.5 million, and this is the highest price of all of the Susan B. Anthony's from 1981. NGC graded a Mint State 67 Plus, which in October of 2022 sold for $21,600. So look for the S's, the regular S's, and if you can get one really, really good shape, and it'd have to be better than this, of course, not without these scratches and without this kind of dull finish, it could be worth thousands of dollars. And then they made it as a proof set. And even though the proof set looks much shinier and nicer, and you can see this is a deep cameo, every proof Susan B. Anthony that they made at the U.S. Mints is a deep cameo. There should be none that aren't a deep cameo. And so when you see this, even though it looks beautiful, just remember that they made 4 million of these, and they made them in two different types. They made them in the clear S and the filled S. The way you can tell the filled S is it'll have a little line through the bottom of the S, and it'll have a big dot on the front of the S, like a bulbous kind of S on the top. This is not a filled S, so this is what they call a Type 2. For the Type 2, they've found 523 so far that look like this, and the highest price for a Proof 70 Deep Cameo Type 2 is $550. There also is the Type 1, or the so-called filled S, and the highest price for that is $45 because they found over 2,000 of them, and you'll see a bulb on the front of the S and a line through the bottom. For collectors, the Susan B. Anthony coin is one of the easiest ones to get every coin from. They only made it in 4 different years. You can get every Susan B. Anthony coin just by getting 79, 80, 81, and 99 coins. Even if you decide to get the Type 1 and Type 2 for every year, you're only talking about 15 to 17 coins total for every single different kind of the Susan B. Anthony dollars. All right, that's all we have today from DC Coin World. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.